Hey guys, today I wanted to share an attempt that we did for the final Heliquary boss of Inferno 6, which is Deosbrae Sovereign Shade. And this boss is actually very challenging, largely due to the fact that the scaling for him is always going to be for 8 players, so it doesn't matter if you queue up solo or in a 2-man group, the scaling is always for 8 players, so he's going to have insane health, and he also does insane damage. So as you can see, the fight's just started and you have to clear a few mobs here, just as you do with other raid bosses, but once you've done that, you can see that here he is in all his glory, Deosbrae Sovereign Shade. He kind of looks like a snake, and he's got the whole map, he's covering the whole map with his body here. And you can see that to get near him, he's always at the edge of the map, and it's kind of hard to hit him if you're at range. You have to get really close to him, and the problem is when you do that, his attacks are pretty devastating actually. And just to be able to actually have a decent attempt at him, as you'll be able to see here, we actually had to play for about 7 hours just to get this one decent attempt, which was kind of crazy. So I was the highest combat rating in the group because obviously I reached Paragon 800 on Monday, and still on my server, as far as I know, there wasn't any other player with Paragon 800 at that moment. But as you can see in my party, there is one Tempest here who's Paragon 799, so he's stuck on 1% currently, and this will be a first clear completion for him if we can get it. So obviously he will get the final 2 million, which will get him to Paragon 800 if we can do it. And you can see how devastating the boss's attacks are. I tried to play this boss with Crusader and it was just no chance for us to clear, so I changed it out to Barb, and with Barb the good thing is that there is an offhand which allows you to have life drain, so every time you deal damage to the boss you can actually gain some of the life back. So you can see when he hits me, it hits me for about half my health, sometimes even more, but I quickly heal back up, which is kind of key to success in this fight. So the offhand is called Roar of Persuasion. I'm sure that most of you will know about it, and yeah, it's very good if in these type of fights when you need to heal back. Obviously Barb kind of isn't the highest damage dealing class, obviously can still do excellent damage, but compared to classes like Crusader or maybe even Wizard, in my opinion Barb can't deal just quite as good an amount of damage. As you can see here, we've entered the second phase. He spawns 2 of these eggs here, which I like to call snake eggs, and these work very similar to the crab boss, if you know the crab, with the legs basically that you have to clear. And once you've cleared the legs, you have to be careful that you don't clear just one leg and then leave the others, because if you do that, they're all going to respawn back and then you won't be able to proceed with the boss fight. So you kind of have to be careful and kill all of them around the same time. So basically now he goes into the next phase, which is 4 eggs instead of 2, and you have to do the same thing. So you can see here I took one down to about a third of the health, and then I moved to the next one just so I can get them all at the same time. So needless to say, my party is struggling quite a bit here. I am about 300 combat rating under for this fight, and the next person is probably Eski, who's the Tempest that I was talking about, and he's about 800 combat rating under, even though he's about 11 or 12k resonance, probably one of the highest resonance on our servers. And yeah, this is just obviously a crazy fight. You can see that everyone's dying here, but the key, I believe, that we were able to succeed in this fight is basically because of all the support I had. So obviously I was the main damage dealer, as you can see from the damage breakdown, but a lot of the players in the raid were actually playing with damage buff setups, which were the Crusader and the Necro setup. Even the Tempest setup was good because they gave me critical hit damage. So the Crusader was going in with the Arrow Keeper banner, and the Tempest, I believe, and the Necro, I believe, was going with a attack speed or critical hit damage shoulders, I think, which was helping a lot. So we actually managed to clear all 4 eggs here, which is really good because now we can move on to the next phase. And he does this really cool looking attack here, which obviously does a lot of damage, but I was able to again heal up with the Roar of Persuasion here. So right now you can see that basically the Crusader is hopping in and out with the Conjuration of Light just to give me that banner with the crit, which is really good. And you can see that for a lot of the fight my teammates are basically running out just so they don't get hit by the attacks, because the attacks cover basically half the map, and if they're at the other edge of the map they won't get hit. But you can see that he basically does very similar attacks to the first phase. I believe that he just does them a bit more frequently in this phase now. And he also does one other attack, which is kind of a whirlpool attack. And if you stay inside that whirlpool, you will get one shot. So even if I'm healing really fast, I do get one shot from that attack. So that's that one attack that I have to be really careful of. You can see just how powerful his attacks are here. And right now, you can see that all the party is dead. Just the Crusader and the Tempest trying to stay alive here. And you can see that for most of the fight, I'm trying to kind of tunnel on the boss and trying to hit him as hard as I can. And for my teammates, they're just basically trying to play more of a support role, staying at the back, which is obviously very, very useful. So I'm just trying to see. I think he will do his Whirlpool attack very soon, so I can show you guys what I mean. So let's just see how the fight goes. So here you go, you can see that he does a Whirlpool, which is kind of closing in, and you want to move out of this, because if you do stay in the middle there and he does his Whirlpool, you will get one shot. It's a pretty devastating attack, and it's pretty easy to dodge, which is the good thing. But yeah, for most of this fight, it's pretty challenging, because it's kind of like the crab boss on steroids, in my opinion. I like to call this the crab legs and snake eggs boss, which is pretty funny. I would say, honestly, this is probably one of the most challenging fights I've had, and probably the longest that I've survived during an enraged phase of the boss, as you'll see. So switching tabs between the damage tab and the main tab, just so I see how much time I have left. So you will see me kind of momentarily switch. As you can see, I've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and the boss still has about a third of his health left. So I'm kind of pessimistic about this, to be honest, and I thought we were not going to make the run, but I was just tunneling as hard as I could, because like I said, we were already playing for about 7 hours here, and I was kind of thinking we couldn't do it, but we were really lucky that, honestly, with this run, we were able to have a very good attempt here. So as you can see, we're just trying to hit him as hard as we can, and my teammates are just popping in and out. So it's a pretty straightforward fight if you do have the combat rating, but when you're under combat rating, I would say that this is one of the hardest fights to deal with, just because of all of the mechanics where you have to clear the eggs and the ads around the same time, otherwise you cannot kill the boss. So we've hit 1 billion damage here, and with this build that I'm playing, it's basically the standard barbarian build with a flicker tone, and even though this essence has been nerfed, it's still pretty strong, I believe. And you can see here that we moved to the next phase, and now he spawns these kind of baby snakes. I'm not too sure what to call them, to be honest. They kind of spawn from his body. They look a bit grotesque here, but as you can see, it's kind of the same thing. We have to kill them around the same time so that we can actually kill the boss, as far as I understand. So I'm just trying to move and not kill one too quick, but as you can see, the enemy has now enraged, so the boss is now enraged, and he has still 150 million health remaining, and the map is kind of closing in. You can see that his body's constricting. I felt like I was kind of inside his body there. It was kind of weird, but I did manage to go back in. As you can see, I'm trying to hit one of the ones on the left side here, and I'm still checking the others, because one of them does have really high health, which is really frustrating. And there I died from the enrage pulse, so I honestly thought we were kind of done for here, but I res myself. I did have 1 res remaining, and I'm just trying to keep hitting something, because that's one thing about this offhand. If you're not dealing damage, then you will not be able to life drain, and you will not be able to keep up the sustain. So I'm just trying to hit, always be hitting something, which is kind of challenging because the map keeps rotating, and this is kind of the same as the egg phase. The egg phase also has the map keep rotating, which just kind of makes the fight a bit more challenging, because you might end up hitting one of the eggs which you're not meant to hit, which is low health, and then it's going to make the fight a failure. But as you can see here, I died and I have no more resist, so I thought that that was it. Boss has about 76 million health left. I think Eski just about managed to res there, and he's trying to just hold the res on me, and he just about managed to get me before he got hit there, which was really, really lucky. And there we go, I got one of them down. I'm just trying to really quickly get the others down. One of them is still very close, really high health. You can see the bar, the grey bar on the right side there. It's actually recharging, so if I don't kill all of the others in that amount of time, the next one, the one that's dead, is going to recharge basically, and it will probably reset the boss health, as far as I understand. So I'm just trying to be really quick here, kill the last one, or the last 2 I should say. Let's just see how it goes for the final seconds here. So here we go, and there we go, guys. We just about managed to get the clear, and I was so happy. I was so happy, because we'd been playing for about 7 hours, and before this fight I also was pretty mad at myself, because one of my gems had become dormant, just because I'd ranked up one of my other gems. So I managed to get one of my Colossus engine to rank 9 at the cost of making one of my other gems dormant. So it overall made my resonance 6.2, whereas my maximum resonance is about 6.6. So I'm just showing Eski's profile here. He was playing with about 11.5k, but I do believe he's over 12k. You can see his secondary stats there, and you can see his combat rating 48,500, which is about 800 under. I'm going to show the Crusader really quickly. You can see the secondary stats and also the combat rating 48.2, so also about 1000 or 1.1k under. And then finally the Necro. This player wasn't a super whale, but was a very useful player, 3k resonance, support Necro, very, very good player. And yeah, I was extremely happy to get this fight done. Just showing the build of the Crusader. So it's a Holy Banner build with Conjuration of Light, just a full defensive build. And then as far as my build goes, you can see it here. It's just the standard DPS build, not the Resolve build, which is kind of meta now, but I felt that the Resolve build didn't quite have as much sustain, and in this fight I needed sustain rather than burst because it was extremely challenging. So you can just see, and for most of my set pieces, they were really kind of not good. I was playing with like 2-piece Fithu, 2-piece Angment, because I just wanted to go for the highest combat rating possible. So I was about 300 combat rating under for this fight, which meant that I was dealing 60% less damage and taking something like 170% more damage. But yeah, was a really good fight, honestly, and I hope that this video has been useful, and I hope that you guys understand the mechanics. It's very similar to the crab boss. I forget his name, but it's the one with the 4 different legs which kind of respawn. And I'll quickly be showing also the bundle that we unlocked. I was just really, really happy. I unlocked the Unstoppable Seeker Trove, and I'll quickly show what that looks like. It's pretty much the standard bundle that you could expect from killing the last Heliquary boss. So Unstoppable Seeker Trove, 3,000 orbs, 20 legendary crests, 6 rare crests, 24 gems, and it's £38, which I think is about $45 on the US client, as far as I know. So yeah, that's about all that I wanted to share for this one, guys. I'm really happy with my achievements for Paragon 800. Not only did we manage to do this raid, but I also managed to get the first clear Challenge Rift 450, and you can see that I'm using the portrait for the Challenge Rift reward, which I was really proud of. And yeah, it was really nice to see that when I actually managed to reach the Paragon, usually I don't get any rewards for it. In my opinion, it made the grind a bit more worthwhile. I think it took me about 20 hours on stream. I am streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, so if you want to catch me there, I will probably be streaming again, probably tomorrow or the day after. We'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm going to be signing off, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.